Hello. My name is Kayla Brick. I am a Upwork coach and professional illustrator. Today we are talking about how to stop wasting connects on really bad jobs on here. There's a seemingly never-ending set of jobs where you're just throwing connects into the ether. So this is part one. We're going to be talking about filters today, and a little bit later in the week I'm going to post a video that is all about job analysis. So stay tuned for that. But today we're going to talk about filters. So these are my filters right here. We have low level, high level search. They also show up here as little buttons. And when we add filters, it just shows me the jobs that are in my budget range, that are in the connects range that I'm interested in. They have a certain number of proposals already sent to them, so they're a little less competitive than, say, a job listing that already has 20 to 50 proposals already sent to a client. Well, they're just drowning in proposals, and you don't have any chance of actually getting seen by that client. So what I like to do is create filters that help us see job listings that are just a little bit closer to what we're actually looking for. So we're not wasting time and we don't send connects into the ether, never to be seen again. So first thing we do when it comes to creating a filter is we go to this little search for jobs section here. And what I want you to do is create a list of the most umbrella tags, umbrella keywords, if you will, that describe who you are and what you do. So you don't have to know Upwork's internal language yet. That can be a little bit later. I have other videos for that, understanding keywords and algorithmic stuff on Upwork. But what I want you to do is focus on just thinking to yourself, what is the most top level words I can use to describe me? So in my case, that's illustration, that's illustrator, that's artist, that's anything in that category is going to work fine. So what you don't want to do is do stuff that's a little bit 2 layers down into what you do. That would be storyboarding, comics, anything that's more descriptive. So like a subsection of what I do. So illustration is the most top down. But let's just say you're a graphic designer, you're a web designer, you could be a software developer. All of that stuff is going to be a little bit more helpful for the Upwork algorithm to figure out what you do. So we don't want to pick stuff that's going to be too many layers in. That's going to confuse things and not get as many jobs as we want. Right now, before we add any filters, we want to just get as many job listings as possible. So let's just pick graphic design as an example. Okay, so this is the screen that I'm sure many of you have never seen before because Upwork unfortunately hides it from you in their interface. But this is the section of Upwork where we can actually add filters to our job listing so that we can get a little closer to what we're actually looking for. What Upwork has done is it's looked for job listings that have the tag graphic design, which is quite good. If you're a graphic designer, that's going to grab all the graphic design jobs that Upwork currently has on the platform. And what we want to do is I like to create two different filters, one that's a little bit lower budget and one that's high budget. So we'll do ones that are, less than 100 if you want to start there, or less than 100, 100 to 500. That could be a filter. Or we could do 500 to 5K as the other filters, more the high level stuff. So let's do that for fun. The difference between those, I like to have both of those. Doesn't matter what stage you are on Upwork. You could be a beginner. And if that's the case, the first one I want you to make is the less than 100 or 100 to 500. That's where you're going to start trying to get testimonials and reviews. That's the best place to start, just to figure out how the platform works, work with clients who are a little bit lower budget so you're not feeling super overwhelmed. But if you are in a position where you've been on the platform, you have those reviews, 500 to 5K is a little bit more competitive, but it's going to be a little easier for you to land those jobs with a profile like that. So I like to have both of those. Also, I mean, if you're doing a 5K job or a 3K, or even in this lower range where you're doing like a $800 job or something like that, not a bad thing to have those little $100, $200 jobs just to fill in the gaps between those jobs too. So I like to have both of these. So let's make the first one 500 to 5K. It's going to grab a lot of things. So it's only going to show us the jobs that are in that bracket. So we're not going to see any low paying jobs in this case. The other thing I like to do is to do the 5 to 10, and 10 to 15 for number of proposals. This is because a lot of times when you're first starting on Upwork, but just in general, a lot of jobs on here within that first 24 hours, even to 48 hours, are going to get flooded with job proposals on here. So what I like to do is the 5 all the way to 15 makes it so that job listing is not competitive for you at any of the budget ranges. So we don't want to be competing with the 15 to 20 or 20 to 50, because that just means that the job listing has been on the platform for a long time. It's super competitive. It's not super likely that your job proposal is actually going to get seen by the client. So this automatically makes it so that you have a higher chance of that happening. No boosting is necessary. None of the extra stuff that Upwork asks us for, where it asks for us extra connects, is necessary when we do this kind of stuff. So it's built into the platform. All right, so the rest of this stuff is not super useful. I don't really like to use the hourly as a entry level to expert. Clients will sometimes put entry level. That's really just code for I don't want to pay as much. Intermediate or expert is usually can mean that they're interested in paying you a little bit extra. I'm reading into that a little bit, but there is some validity to it. It's just I wouldn't weight it too heavily. But those are the two main things I would do. And then if you have anything in your particular niche, the thing that you do, that you don't want to see any of those kinds of jobs, you're not interested in them, you could go into the advanced search right here, and we can add none of these words. And that will immediately delete those keywords tags from this filter so that you don't have to worry about that anymore. So if I didn't want to see comic work, for example, or in this case, it's graphic design. So stuff that has, Adobe Acrobat, for example, removed, gone, deleted from my vision. Fabulous. And then we just go to save search here, and you can then name it whatever you want. I personally like high level and low level, or high ticket and low ticket. I have a little bit of a marketing background, but whatever makes sense to you personally is going to work best. So just name it whatever makes sense to you. And then you should see it show up here under find work, which is that low level and high level search, and you should be good to go. I hope you guys found this helpful. Need me, you know where to find me. There's a bunch of stuff, cool stuff that I have available in the description below. And I am going to link another really relevant word video for you right here. And I will see you guys in the next one.